Hi you guys, I'm back today with a video on a brand that I love. I don't just like, I love them. I have loved them. I will always love them. I feel like I'm about to break out in a song. I will always love you. Let's not, it would be very scary. But the brand that I'm talking about is Sydney Grace, and they recently did a collaboration with Temptalia. They did a 3-palette collaboration, which is no small undertaking. Each one of these palettes is $40. You could get all 3 bundled for $100, which was extremely cheap. And then you could use coupon codes on top of it, which I was like, yes, please, yes, immediately, I'm on my way, like, I'm on my way. So the palette that I used today was the Quintessence palette. Now, I'm not actually doing this video like I would normally do my videos because there are 3 palettes, and to me, it's all one collection, and I want each one of them to have their own moment, where I do possibly 2 looks with each one, I do the swatches from each of the palettes, and then if you only want to pick up one of the palettes, you can just look at that video for reference, and you don't have to watch one long video that talks about all 3. This video is going to be a summary of all 3 palettes and my initial thoughts on everything, and also I may do some comparison swatches because the only negative thing I have to say is that I feel like these palettes are very similar to each other. Like right now, I cannot pick them up and go, oh, this one's definitely Quintessence. Actually, I can just because of the scenescapes that are on each of the fronts of them. But it's very difficult. It's not like picking up any other palette because they are so similar. I'm going to show them to you guys side by side, hopefully, and not drop anything. So actually, I'll show them to you one at a time, and then I'll show them to you all together as much as I can after that. So the very first one is the Quintessence palette, and this is the one that I'm wearing right now. Let me just say, I love the packaging. I don't like it. I love it. If they made a poster of it, I would hang it up. I think it is that beautiful. In fact, if I were to design something, it would be very, very similar. In my mind. I love like celestial stuff. I'm really into the moon. When I say really into the moon, I'm creepily into the moon. I wanted it tattooed, but unfortunately I don't think I'll be able to get another tattoo. But if I can, I'm getting a damn moon. So anyway, this is the front of the Quintessence palette, and that is what I'm wearing on my eyes today. It's beautiful. I literally, just because I think they look alike does not mean I think that they're bad palettes. I haven't even tried any of the other ones, so I can't speak to them, but I do know Sydney Grace's formulation extremely well. I think I have all of their singles, and I've had all of their palettes, so I feel like I'm pretty well versed in their brand and their quality and how they do. So for me, I don't expect anything to be bad. If it is when I'm going through each of the palettes on their own in their own video, I will definitely tell you guys, but I'm sorry, already from touching the first one, I doubt that that will happen. So in any case, I digress. This is the packaging for the Quintessence palette. It's got the night sky on it. It's got this beautiful little constellation up here, the stars. It's gorgeous. I love it. The colors, I love it. I feel like it very much embodies what are in the palettes. Yes. So the inside of this palette looks like this. I almost broke it trying to get into it. There is definitely some shiftiness going on within this. Oh my goodness. I pretty much used all the bottom row today. I wanted to do stuff differently, but that's okay, because I've got 2 more looks I'm going to do with this palette in a video of its own, so I'm all right. It's going to be okay. But I really love this. In fact, this shade right here, the Milky Way, I might be pronouncing it wrong, is so stunning. It does remind me a bit of The Greatest Gift if you have that single from them, but it's good. It's very, very good. So this is definitely kind of a cool toned palette. I really enjoy it though. Then we're moving into On the Horizon. It's got the moon on it, which I absolutely love. I kind of smashed the box. Who does this? And it's got this beautiful kind of mountain scenery. It is gorgeous. And then like the water, I'm telling you, like, this is exactly my vibe. Exactly my vibe. I just think it is gorgeous. They did such a good job with this. Then when you open up the palette itself, this is what it looks like. And in fact, I'm going to try very hard to pull up the palette that I just opened next to it. I just want to kind of give you guys a little look-see here. Oh, shiz. You see that? I almost scraped them. A lot of these colors are very similar. I mean, it's not that they're the exact same, I don't think. At least I'm guessing there's some tonal differences. But they are very similar, like, I don't know. Hopefully that's coming across to you guys, because that's my one qualm. I think they're beautiful. I think they all worked beautifully together, but I think I'm just going to say this. I can't believe I'm going to say it. I think they should have done one big palette where they use most of the shades, but not all of them. I'm so sorry. And then the last one is called Radiant Reflection, and when you get to that, you're going to see this, and this is kind of going on. I think this is like a crystal underground. That's what I'm guessing it is. That's what it looks like to me. I think that is really, really cool. I love it. It's kind of giving me Dark Crystal vibes a little bit, which I dig. And then the palette itself looks like this. Does anybody else see a very similar theme coming between all of these palettes? Now, I would say out of all the palettes, this is probably the warmest, even though, well, it might be the warmest. It's kind of not still. but I'm going to attempt to pick up all 3 of these at the same time so I can show you them. Oh my Lord, let's say a prayer for these palettes because I don't want them to rest in peace. They're very similar in color story. That is, I mean, did we need all of these? I mean, I've got a large collection. I'm fine to have all of them, but as a normal person, as a normal everyday consumer that doesn't do videos, do you need all of these? Would you think you need all of these? Would you even know which one you were buying? I don't know. I honestly don't know because they are very, very close to each other in my opinion. Truly me saying this is not me trying to be mean to them because I love Sydney Grace. I've never personally spoken with the person that they collaborated with, so I can't really speak to them. I would never mean anything personally against them either. So that's just my opinion. It's not meant to be mean. And if you love all of these, which I love all of these, obviously I'm fine with it because I bought all 3 of them and I had no qualms doing so. But I just want you guys to be aware. Don't feel like you have to buy all 3 of them because you probably don't. You're going to get about the same kind of feel throughout all of them. So, you know, if you are in a place where you really want to try Sydney Grace or you really want to support Temptalia? I don't know which it is. Then don't feel like you have to break yourself trying to get all of them. Just take a look at each of these when I'm doing the videos or when you're looking at other people's videos and really figure out which one works best for you. Hopefully this is making sense. I'm really sorry. I hate saying negative things, but I also feel to not say it would be a huge disservice to the people that watch my channel. So, any case, with that being said, I'm going to try and compare some of the shades that I find to be extremely similar just to show you guys whether or not they are the same. Okay. Now, I don't have the deep version of these, though I seriously would have loved to have picked all of it up. It was just too much money. I like I've talked about on my channel a bunch of times, I only buy when I sell stuff to cover my purchases for the most part. Once in a while, I'll buy something that I'm just buying to buy, but it is very rare because most of the time, anything I'm selling is going back into this channel. So, with that being said, there may be shades that are also similar within the deep palettes, but I don't have those. So I technically already did these, but I did them on the front of my arm and they look terrible. So I'm going to go ahead and insert some actual comparison swatches that go right here on my arm. That way it's easy for you guys to see and compare the colors like I was talking about. Now, when I am going through them, I will try and say the palette and the name and understand that they are not exact dupes. I mean, I swatched them yesterday, so I already know this, but they are definitely in the same color family. So it's not that I am trying to point out that, hey, they're all the exact same. I'm just trying to show you the similarities between them. So, starting with the Quintessence palette, this is the shade Orion Nebula. And this is kind of a maroon that goes purple and orange just a little bit. It is very pretty. It actually looks kind of more pink in the camera right now, which is funny because I guess it's more pink than I thought it was. And in Radiant Reflection, I'm doing the shade Opera Rose. Now, I'm not sure what it looks like in the monitor because I can't see it. And in a lot of ways, in some reflections, they look almost the exact same. However, I can tell you this. This has more of a reddish, orangish flip to it than this. This has more of a pinkish purple to it. It's definitely, they're very, very similar. That same palette, the Radiant Reflection, I'm just going to stick within a few shades that are kind of similar. They're not this same color, but similar to each other. This is the shade Sumptuous Serendipity. I've said it like 10 times. I don't know why I couldn't say it, but I couldn't. This shade is very interesting. This is like a taupey purple with blue glitters, and it's a little bit maroonish as well, and brown. It's very interesting. It's very, very interesting. Same palette, we're moving into like the purpley-ish, pinkish tones. This is the shade Temptalia. So this is obviously not going to be the same as the one that's next to it, but I kind of thought maybe it would mix in well with the other ones that were by it. Okay, and that is a very pinkish purple, definitely more on the purple. Maybe has a slight hint of silverish to it as well. I think this is the comparable shade to Dear Reader, which I did also pick up too. From On the Horizon, this is the shade Sakura Glow. Or Sakura Glow, I'm not sure which, I'm sorry. And that is a beautiful, kind of more pinkish purple in the sense that it's got like a deeper base and it almost kind of goldish particle to it as well. It is stunning. From the same palette, I'm going to go Lunar Illumination. And that is definitely a more silver-based purple, but boy, isn't she a looker. Then from the Quintessence palette, this is the shade The Milky Way. Possibly pronounced differently. And that's a beautiful kind of greenish pink tone purple. This one's my favorite, for sure. Without a doubt, hands down. I'm going to go to Serious Starlight in the same palette. Touching these very gently, because the thing you can do when swatching these is pick up too much, and then it almost swatches like too chunkily because there's too much. Well, it's a silver shade, but it's got almost a brown tint to it a little bit. Horizon, this is the shade Heart Dog. Oh my lord. See, that's what I mean. Like, you can pick up too much and it kind of makes a mess. And you don't even need that much. Like, I've got tons left over on my finger. This is a gold-based silver, and it's almost taupey as well. It is fantastic. And from the Radiant Reflection, this is Phosphenes. Definitely a purple-brown based kind of silvery tone. Taupey. Even more taupey. Gorgeous. They're not the same at all, but they're definitely in similar families. That's what I was just trying to point out to you guys. Quintessence palette, this is Galactic Muse. So that's just a really bright, kind of like aqua shade. I'm going to do Borealis, but it's not the same. This is also in the same palette. And this is that gorgeous kind of greenish gold shade. Oh. This is Earthbound from On the Horizon. Like, not at all the same. But in that same kind of realm. I think it also has some silver to it. Beautiful. Beautiful. And then in Radiant Reflection, this is Jealousy's Descent. So again, not the same, but definitely in the same family. They're going to the same reunion, but they're not from the same household. This is the shade Aurora from Quintessence. A very beautiful pink, or a very beautiful blue purple. I am telling you guys, wow. This is Celestial Bloom from the same palette. Definitely more a true purple, but it is also a shifting blue shade. I am so running out of space. From On the Horizon, this is Calming Presence. I don't think it's the same at all, but here we are. Definitely more of a true kind of midnight blue shade. It does have a little bit of flip to it. A bit of purple. Radiant Reflection, this is the shade Forget Her Not. Mist is super dry, and it's very hard to swatch on. But that is also kind of a purpley blue, but it has more of a black base, and it's still different. It's similar. Originally, I had swatched a few mattes when I did the video the first time, but I'm not going to do them this time because they were just not at all similar. Like, not even close. One was like a pinkish red undertone, and the other one was gray, so it's not worth doing them. They look similar in the pan, but they are not similar swatched out. But those are like the most comparable shades within the palettes that I have in the light range. This is what all of these shades look like. And I've got to say, I'm not unhappy to have any of them. Like, they're gorgeous. And this is another lighting situation for you guys so you can see it like that. I'm going to try and get them closer. These are just so stunning. The different shifts in them are kind of mind-boggling to me. They just did a really great job, especially for the price. And that's not even all of the beautiful metallics and shifty shades. These are just the most similar to me. Okay, you guys, I am back. This is the strangest format I've ever done of a video. I should have done this. I should have done these swatches the other way. I don't know why. I don't know what possessed me to do them in that direction. But let me just tell you, from everything I've swatched, it felt really nice. It felt like their typical quality. The only one that I think is a little sketch is this one right here, and that is the shade Infinite Echoes, and that is in the On the Horizon palette. Just because it swatches a certain way does not mean that's how it's going to perform. In fact, typically, even with Sydney Grace's shadows, if I do get a hard pan, they still work perfectly with a brush. So I don't really have any qualms with it if I'm touching it and it's doing that, because I know it's going to perform on the eye. The look that I did today was from the Quintessence palette. I really liked the way it looked. It did turn out more gray looking, which is funny because in real life it's kind of more purpley, almost slightly pinkish green as well, but this is just what it looks like. Here are my initial thoughts. I haven't used each one of these yet, so please come back if you are interested and see my breakdown in each of the palettes and all of their swatches for like full, final, real, deep thoughts. But just on the surface, I think that the prices were great. I think that the artwork is fantastic. I think whoever did their artwork did a great job. They spared no expense. That was terrible, but you know where I'm coming from though with that, hopefully. I would love to buy a poster of it. I think it's gorgeous artwork. I know that Sydney Grace has like the best quality shadows, for sure. Like they probably are my #1 favorite brand. Between that, their customer service, just the way they handle stuff, I really love them as a brand. So I don't want people to think that I'm trying to dog them when I'm saying I feel like these color stores are very similar, because I still bought all 3 of them and I still like all 3 of them, and I'm still going to be completely happy and never get rid of all 3 of them. But I think if you are the everyday person that doesn't, you know, necessarily want a large collection or need a large collection or whatever the case may be, maybe you're just wanting to give this brand a shot. In reality, not everybody needs a million palettes. I feel like that's not true, but really, not everybody does. So I feel like, I mean, in one way, it kind of helps people like that because they are very similar. They won't have to feel like they've missed out necessarily. But I do also feel like this could have been done a little bit differently, and it probably would have made a little bit more sense. I don't have a problem with it yet again, but that is the only thing I would say that I think is a little, like, I didn't really understand. Don't get me wrong, I love greens all day, so I was happy to see them in every single palette. But anyway, I could sit here and repeat myself 20 different ways trying to make it sound better, and I can't. So hopefully if you're watching this, you know I don't really mean anything against Sydney Grace. I think they're wonderful. I think their products are wonderful. I just think I said what I said. So in any case, I can't wait to go over each one of these on their own with you guys and to show you swatches of them on their own as well. If this video was helpful to you and this was worth me doing and you didn't think it was a complete waste of time for everyone, let me know down in the comments below, because I was really torn on doing it, but I kind of felt like I should show you the way I was seeing it. I don't know. If it was helpful at all, maybe consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!